Seems a little dark in here. Give me 1 second, everybody. It's a little better. A little dark in here, but all right. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Get a cup of coffee, everybody. Calm down. But it's beginning. The food apocalypse. Remember when Mike from Around the World in the spring of 2019 said to me, oh, by the way, Pastor, your shelves are going to start going empty in the stores. Some of your name brand items that you love to buy are going to disappear and they're not coming back. I thought, what is he talking about? I mean, what world could cause such a situation like that? Then the pandemic came and the shelves went empty. Supply chain dried up. And then even after 2 years of that, the toilet paper apocalypse, couldn't find food, shelves empty. A lot of our name brand items have disappeared. They're not coming back. He was right. And then when then they couldn't get the trucks unloaded. They didn't have enough truck drivers. Couldn't keep. No, so here we go again. But now we have the war. The war in Ukraine, the breadbasket of the world, is affecting the world's ability to produce enough grain, enough wheat, enough flour to feed the world. And this morning, it has begun in a big way, as the grain reserves has just been revealed that grain reserves are much lower than the world realized. And in Lebanon, right now, the nation of Lebanon, they have begun rationing flour. That's a huge deal there, because the pita bread. I mean, folks, when I was in Israel, everywhere you go in the Middle East, they eat with pita bread. Pita bread goes with everything. Okay, flour is huge, and we know this in the world. Flour is on everything. Everything that's fried, everything we eat. I mean, flour and grains. This is what feeds the world. Well, let me just put a shout out real fast. NobleGoldInvestment.com, www.noblegoldinvestment.com. Yeah, it's true. You're going to see outrageous shifts in the market due to high energy costs with oil, low food production with wheat and barley and grains. Hunger and shortages of supplies is going to cause the world markets to go haywire. The black horseman of the apocalypse could act, I believe, is galloping. At noblegoldinvestment.com, they realize that there's going to be some serious shifts in the currency values. And so one way to protect yourself during a short-term process would be to diversify your 401k or your IRA. Thing to do is pick up the phone this morning and call Colin Plume at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. That's a Christian company. They're family owned, and Colin or one of his associates can help you with your financial needs. Let me share with you what's going on right now, guys, with this food apocalypse this morning. Flour rationing is going on in Lebanon. Grain hoarding is happening now in the nation of Hungary. How the Ukraine war is starting to lurch this globe that we live on toward a food crisis. Now, what we're understanding is Russia's invasion of one of the world's leading breadbaskets, Ukraine, is deepening the worst surge in global food prices since the Great Recession. Actually, the reserve levels of grain globally are much lower than we were anticipating. Raising the specter of Moscow's war could spark crisis-like hikes, inflame the scourge of world hunger, and spark a political turmoil far from the conflict zone. Since the Russian assault began, countries from Hungary all the way to Indonesia have moved to the door to exports, corralling their grains, cooking oils to feed their own people, and risking a round of trade protectionism that could deepen global supply and price woes. In other words, countries are deciding maybe they should not export and better hang on to what they got. Now, around the world, food prices are already rising fast amid supply chain disruptions and pandemic era inflation. But some prices, especially wheat, a basic source of substance in many countries, have shot through the roof already because of the Ukraine crisis, upending calculations of the world's available food supply and leading to the rationing of flour in major parts of the Middle East. Together, Ukraine and Russia account for nearly 30% of the wheat, 17% of the corn, half of the sunflower seed in the world. The conflict inducted bottlenecks at the Black Sea ports, where cargo vessels have been stuck by Russian rockets, and other complications of war have slammed Ukrainian exports. Boycotts of Russian ports by shipping companies. Knock-on effects of sanctions have also disrupted the flow of food and feeds from Russia, creating problems that could grow as the Kremlin now threatens to impose export controls of some food commodities. That's to help shut off the food to the rest of the world. Russia knows they can control a major part of the food distribution. As bad as this is, a key wheat future surged 70% over the past month. The situation is poised to get much worse, folks. And a new report by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, due out Friday, estimates food and feed prices could surge 7% to 22% above already elevated levels due to the war. In real terms, with prices adjusted for inflation, costs are approaching, but not yet surpassing, the global food crisis of 2007 and 2008, when droughts and the rise of biofuels and the barrage of trade protectionism merged into the worst food inflation since the Soviet grain crisis of the 1970s. In the short run, the large growing countries like Australia, Argentina, India, and the United States could make up for a portion of the grain shortfalls, but by doing so will cause prices within their countries to skyrocket. Now, knowing the Biden administration, I would already say that he'll probably sell half our grain, leaving us with a bill so high that we won't be able to hardly be able to afford it. But that's part of his taxation, because they collect taxes off the sales tax. These sales tax are based on a percentage of your total amount you spend. The more you spend, the more tax you pay. That is that's the way they love to operate in this Biden world, in the world of Biden. Now, if the war halts planning in the rich black soils of Ukraine, which it has, they're not planning, wheat shortages will worsen in the coming months. As I've been telling you, folks, the preliminary assessment is this: due to the war, 20 to 30% of the wheat and corn and soy sunflower seed will not even be planted this year. There will be also some of it that's growing out there will not get harvested in the year 2022 through 2023. That means critically, Russia is also a major exporter of fertilizer, the price of which has already been soaring. Significant disruptions of Russian exports could see that price jump even higher, further driving up the cost of food production. If farmers have to pay a war price, literally, no pun intended here, for the fertilizer. To guard their food supplies, countries are turning to trade protectionism, one major factor that sharply worsened back in 2007, 2008 in that crisis. So since the Russian invasion, Indonesia has set new limits on palm oil exports to control prices. Hungary has banned all grain exports. Serbia said it would ban exports of its wheat and corn and flour and cooking oil. And Egypt, a country of 80% reliant on Russian and Ukrainian food, impose controls on grain exports as the price has subsidized bread has already started to creep up. Think about that. Egypt, 80% of the food they eat, 80% of their wheat and corn comes from, and flour comes from Russia and Ukraine. So this is the breadbasket of the world, now no longer growing. There's no harvesting going on. There's no planting going on. There's a war going on. So facing a siege of its cities and a war that is seen has Ukraine is in trouble. Okay, they're really in trouble. Hang on one second. Bart Begley, you there? Okay, I'm going to be filming my portion of the webinar with Israel this morning, and then he sent Google Doc, I guess is the way to send it, right? To Jade. No, I always send it on a shared Google Drive. Okay, I'll have him send it to you. Yeah, have him send it to me. I'll download it and upload it to the drive. Okay. All right. Right now I'm doing a live YouTube video, so I better get back to it. But anything else you need? Okay. Stay focused. And when did Jade need mine? I'm like yesterday. If I get it to him by noon, can you send him an email, let him know that I'm working on it? I'm gonna try to get it to him by noon or 1. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Bye. Sorry about that, folks. The webinar is ready to go except for me. Okay. And I'm going to film it here in just a few moments. And then it's ready to go at 6 o'clock. So don't worry. Facing a siege of the cities of the war, Ukrainian tractors redeployed to haul off Russian tanks. So now the tractors are they're using the tractors for the tanks. Kiev has halted exports of meat, rye, oats, buckwheat, sugar, millet, salt, introduced some restrictions on wheat and corn. I mean, how can they ship? They're in a war. They're getting the capital of Kiev is about to be attacked. Whether it's under a siege right now, they're trying to take the capital right now. There's nobody shipping anything. There's nobody growing anything. People are hiding and hoping that they'll get killed. So we really need to pray, folks. And I'm telling you, the food apocalypse has begun. As I was on the set with Jim Baker yesterday, recording those 2 shows that are phenomenal shows. Actually, we dig deep into Bible prophecy. And I said to him, I said, look, here's the deal. Here's the deal. The 4 horsemen are already galloping. They're in play. That doesn't mean they just show up one day and they do everything they're going to do in one day. It's a process. They've been turned loose. The new world order, the one world, the beast kingdom is establishing itself as we speak. We heard Mike from around the world talk about that last night with the transition, the Biden administration into the cryptocurrency, turning the cryptocurrency into the feds. By doing that, the federal government is taking over the crypto world, okay, to help put in a brand new economic system, which is what Mike from around the world said is coming. That could bring about the system of the mark of the beast. And then you have the red horse of war taking peace from the earth. Look what's going on right now. The threat of nuclear annihilation. And then the black horse of the economy, the wheat and the barley. It's going to go skyrocketing just like it said it would in Revelation chapter 6. It's happening. I'm telling you about it right now. I might as well read it out of the Bible. Oh, I'll just read it out of the newspaper. Which one? It's the same thing. It's happening now. And then the pandemic we just went through, there's more plagues and pestilences to come. The pale horseman. How many of your friends died in the last year? How many of our family and friends have we lost in the last 2 years due to this bioweapon out of China? We're in the end days. You need to give your life to Jesus Christ before it is too late, because, folks, it will be too late. We are going to run out of time. People need Jesus Christ like never before. I'm going to say now to you, I want you to do something. The climate crisis webinar is so filled with information that it's absolutely almost to the point of mandatory that people watch it. The information is so incredible that Gil Brazard updates you of where the effects of Planet X is. Mike Run the World, he drops some serious bombs, not just about climate crisis, but about other things that are happening that he reveals intel from inside the government, as well as Marshall Masters, who really gives you a whole new set of slides and shows you the process and how Planet X has even got the latest information and more pictures of it that's been leaked out by the white hats from the government. And then there is Steve Quayle. Steve's presentation is unbelievable on weather modification, weather warfare, and what types of ways that they can create volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, rain bombs, HARP, winds, jet stream modifications, everything. He breaks it all down, how it is a war on weather, and how that's going to help bring about the very prophetic things that Jesus said is going to happen in the last days. We are in the end times. Go get your ticket right now for Climate Crisis. Get your ticket right now for Climate Crisis. I'm going to play us a song, and as it's playing, go right now to my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. Go to www.paulbegleyprophecy.com and get your ticket right now, because the webinar starts at 6 o'clock tonight. We have, folks, we only have, what time is it? We only have, it's not, okay. We have about 8 hours. We're going live at 6 p.m. Eastern. Are you serious? Get your tickets right now during the song. I was walking home from school on a cold and winter day. Took a shortcut through the woods and I lost my way. It was getting late and I was scared and alone. Then a kind old man took me by the hand and he led me home. Mama couldn't see him, but she was standing there. I knew in my heart he was an answer to my prayer. Oh, I believe there are angels among us, sent down to us from somewhere up above. They come to you in our darkest hour, show us how to live. They teach us how to give, to guide us with the light of love. When life held troubled times, had me down on my knees, there's always been someone to come and comfort me. A kind word from a stranger to lend a helping hand, a phone call from a friend just to say I understand. Ain't it kind of funny at the dark end of the road, someone lit the way with just a single ray of hope. I believe there are angels among us. I do believe this. Sent down to us from somewhere up above. They come to you in your darkest hours. They show us how to live. They teach us how to give, and guide us with the light of love. They wear so many faces, show up in the strangest places, grace us with their mercy in our time of need. Among us, I believe there are angels among us. I believe there are angels among us. Oh, that's so true, folks. I really do believe that there's angels among us. And so, yes, climate crisis. You need to get your tickets right now. Right now. Matter of fact, the girls are working on it. Implementing every person that gets their ticket purchased, making sure that your link is ready for you at 6 p.m. Eastern. And so get your tickets right now. You have something, Heidi?
I have some info.
Info from Heidi.
So when you get your receipt, there's a blue button. It says, I think it says information. If you press the blue button, your link will be there.
So when you get your ticket right now,
you just don't.
But the link won't work till 6 o'clock.
It won't work till 6 o'clock, but it's kind of hidden. You don't know it's there. But press information. It's a blue button. I think it says information on it.
Or wait to get your email at 6 o'clock if you can't find it.
Right, but it's really there. It's just you have to press the blue button. You just don't realize it's there.
But if you push the blue button right now, you'll get your link, but the link won't work till 6 o'clock.
Well, the link turns on.
It comes on at 6 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah. So you actually had the link already if you found it.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you're going to get an email with the link as well. And if that don't work, Heidi, are we using more than one phone line tonight? What do we?
Yes.
Can you tell me what the phone lines are?
No.
I'll do a video a little bit later this afternoon.
Not at this very moment.
Well, I'm going to be staying here with you all day today, folks, helping you get ready for this webinar tonight. So I'll get that information and be able to give that to you as the afternoon goes. But Heidi, that's great news that already people can go look right now. They've already got their ticket. They can go back and look at their receipt and that little blue button is in there somewhere. And so that's cool. So
I think it says information.
So that's really going to help because a lot of folks are going to be ready to go then, you know. And this, Heidi, I just did. I'm doing a video right now called "The Food Apocalypse" because they're rationing now flour in Lebanon and grains in Hungary and other parts of the world because they've now realized that they're. Oh, thank you for the orange juice. I really need that. They realized that the grain reserves were much lower than reported. Our grain reserves right now worldwide are much lower than originally reported. And now you add a war on top of it, which affects 30% of the grain in the world.
So, I wouldn't be married to a conspiracy theorist or anything.
No, I'm not a conspiracy, but
just saying, they went around all last year and the year before, and they really were telling all the farmers not to farm the land, and they were putting land in land banks and all of this good stuff. What, you want me to sit on your lap?
Sit on my lap.
And some billionaires were going around buying up the land, and other countries were buying up all the land, all the farmland. And then a war happens to break out in the bread baskets of the world.
Interesting.
So and then they say, oh, by the way, there was less grain than we thought there was. Really?
Heidi is being orchestrated. The coming of the beast. The horsemen are galloping. And they're doing everything they got to do to break the world down to submit to the Antichrist. We already know it. We read it in the Bible. We just don't want to accept it could be happening in our lifetime. But we do want to accept that Jesus is going to rapture us in our lifetime. So can I put this together for you? We all want to go to heaven. We're all ready to get raptured, but we're not ready to deal with the events it takes as the rapture is coming. We're getting raptured and everything being nice to it, that we get raptured, that would be perfect, but that's not how it works. We're going to be raptured because the world is falling apart and the Antichrist is in the process of rising. So you can't have it both ways. You want to go when Jesus comes, then you got to deal with what we're dealing with. But trust me, folks, we haven't even started. The 4 horsemen are galloping. They're showing you their hand: war, food, plagues, and control over you, mandates and controls. You see all 4 horsemen of the apocalypse galloping. You can see it. It's unbelievable. It would be unbelievably insane to not see what is happening. But because the Bible's been taken away from the churches, and what I mean by that is the churches quit preaching it, quit teaching it. People don't even know. I think that's why my job. I think that's what God called me to do. I think that's why I'm here. I know it's got to be to help get people to Jesus Christ. And Heidi's working right now. People are calling her. You can pick up the phone and call 765 414 2230 if you want to call and get your tickets. You can call in and buy a ticket right now. That's 765 414. I'm going to write this down because I'm going to have a hard time. 765 414 2230. You can call that number and order your tickets right now. You can go to my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com and get your ticket right now and purchase it. You'll be ready to go at 6 p.m. Eastern. You'll be ready to go at 6 p.m. Eastern. We are living in the end times. We are truly living in the last days. I will be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. I'm going to stay with you all day today. And of course, tonight, we have the bomb. We have the bomb Genesis starting tonight across the country. That's something we got to also watch. Oh, that's a climate crisis. I think that's what this webinar is about. Are you serious? Are you saved?